One of the remarkable things about the Bible, in fact prophecy, is its surprising nature. Things come to eventuate exactly as Scripture foretells, and we find ourselves, or those at the time it occurs, as absolutely surprised, not really expecting it. For example, even though there was a great deal of messianic expectation when Jesus was born, and the ancients understood the prophecy given in Isaiah, for example, that a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel, God with us. When Jesus did come to this earth and was born as a baby boy in Bethlehem, it really came as a surprise. And when you read the gospel accounts, you pick up on that sense of surprise from Mary's visitation with the angel, from Joseph's experience, from the shepherds in the field to the arrival of the wise men. When Jesus came, it was a surprise. It also happened in the discourse that Jesus repeatedly told his disciples that he would be handed over to the Gentiles, he'd suffer, he'd be killed, and then he'd be raised 3 days and 3 nights later. And I don't think that the disciples, as the Scriptures attest to, really understood or fully comprehended. And when you read in the Gospel accounts on that Sunday morning, long after Jesus had been resurrected, people were surprised. The angel at the tomb spoke to the women, and they were surprised. The disciples were surprised. They only understood, really, after it happened. I think Jesus understands that sense of surprise. When Jesus was telling his disciples about the upcoming resurrections, John 5:28 and 29, he says, "Don't be amazed, for the time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear his voice and come out. Those who've lived righteously to a resurrection of life, and those who've done evil to a resurrection of judgment." And Jesus prefaced his words, well, don't marvel, don't be amazed. So when we find ourselves one day in the future participating in either of those resurrections, we'll probably find it surprising, more surprising and amazing than we can ever imagine today. The last book of the Bible is part letter, part prophecy, part apocalypse. And the book of Revelation prefaces itself by telling us of things that must soon take place. And so over the years, theologians have disagreed and debated whether these things in Revelation, and there's some mysterious things that occur there, happened completely in the past, or whether they exist yet in the future. But the bottom line is, even though we know that Jesus Christ is coming as King of Kings and Lord of Lords in might and power and glory, it's probably going to happen in a way that we really don't fully comprehend or imagine today. We'll probably be more surprised than not. So when the day comes and the words of God become fulfilled, may we all be more than pleasantly surprised. For the MessageWeek team, I'm John Classic.